Can you give us a sense of how enterprise demand is shaping up in an environment where the markets really seem to be impatient, if you will, to see more momentum associated with the capital spend and monetization of the entire AI story?
Yes, I think, there's a broader theme around enterprise spending, and then there's very specific to AI, and I'll comment on both. Now, with respect to enterprise spend overall in our space, companies are going digital, and they have to go digital because that's how they retain their competitive advantage. And from that perspective, investing in technology becomes very critical from the point of view of going digital. And so they have to build cloud-like environments. They have to be able to build and run these modern applications. And of course, they have to figure out how they can use AI to become efficient and create new possibilities. And so the spend on that side of the house is still strong. Now, there's a lot more inspection, as we pointed out, in this macro environment. People want to make sure that they're getting a good return on investment for whatever they spend. So looking at total cost of ownership types of benefits, very important. We, for example, deliver about 40% TCO benefits compared to using legacy architectures. Now, moving to the AI question, I think AI is still pretty early on in adoption within the enterprise. There's been, of course, a lot of talk and hype around generative AI, training large language models in the public cloud with massive farms. Most enterprises are not really going to build their own models. They're going to find realistic use cases for AI wherever their data is. And their sensitive data, in a lot of cases, is sitting inside their data centers at the edges. And they're going to have to run these AI applications in a cost-effective manner wherever that data sits. We help them do that, but that's a critical area for all these companies. In fact, in Asia, for example, one of our early AI customers is the Bank of East Asia, Global 2000 customer. Very interesting use case there. They're using our platform to help them detect potential fraud or malpractice in their sales conversations. So they have an AI application that actually listens into all their salespeople calling their customers and then detects patterns for fraud. That's an interesting use case, right? And they're one of our early use cases. And so people are starting to do that now, real use cases driven by real ROI.
So this is used in call monitoring
Yes,
with clients.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So there's no sign, despite the slower growth environment that we seem to be entering into, and despite the geopolitical headwinds, there is no sign of a slowdown in capital spending at Nutanix.
From our perspective, I only have a limited vantage point of what we see, right?
Yes.
And for our stuff, we don't see a slowdown because it's business critical for these companies to go spend on that. We've got a few other unique factors here, right? If you look at the factors driving our spend, first, companies are in a hybrid world. Their apps and data are everywhere. Mission critical apps inside the public cloud, inside data centers at the edges. They need platforms like ours to help manage all of that. Number one. Number two, you mentioned this at the beginning, right? We've got a lot more ecosystem partners now. Companies like Dell and Cisco weighing in and reselling our products in the marketplace. Number three, we see a long-term tailwind with respect to Broadcom's acquisition of VMware, with a lot of customers now looking at potential alternatives for the longer term. So for all these folks, we are a platform that can help companies run the applications of today and tomorrow, and that's why we see the demand.